Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
We are going to talk about some Christmas beers for you that you might just be able to get in before the festive season starts. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. I need some like jingle bells, maybe.
Yes, can we get to some? I've got a hat that jingles.
If you're not watching the video, I am decked out today.
I just done my PlayStation Christmas jumper.
Yeah,
I did not go as all out as you did.
I've got my Hobgoblin It's Christmas t-shirt on. I've got some lovely sparkly red glasses with a little Santa hat on. And I've got my mini Santa hat on, and then there's Saint Nick is over my shoulder with his little Christmas tree. To be fair, I'm pagan. I don't celebrate Christmas.
You have more Christmas decorations than I do.
I don't even celebrate Christmas.
I'm non-denominational. Yeah. I just want the Christmas beers, really.
Well, I celebrate Yule on the 21st, and so I've been pagan since I was 16 years old. And I tried really hard to convince my mum that I should get my presents on the 21st because that's when Yule is, and she would not let me. So we always did this thing where she would get me a present. It'd be my Yule present. And now my dad does it for me as well. It usually ends up being a record from a record player, actually.
Oh, that's really good. That's probably a really good present.
Yuletide traditions, everybody.
Yeah, you definitely have more Christmas decorations up than I've got my tree up and all that. If you've not seen Joanne's TikTok, her TikToks, where she decorated her Yule tree, it made me laugh quite a bit. She's getting really good at these TikToks.
Getting good at these TikTokies.
Love watching them. So go watch it on her Instagram if you've not already seen it.
Come and check out. Brilliant. Love Beer Learning on TikTok. It's on TikTok as well because that's where I have to do them because I can't get music on my Instagram or on my Instagram Reels. Come and have a check. Come and check out my hilarious TikTokies. Down with the kids.
But yeah, we logged into this Zoom session and you were like decked out, and I was taken aback. I was like, oh, hi. I had to go and throw my Christmas jumper on because I just had a normal hoodie on, and then I was didn't even think about it.
I do have to say that Santa Claus is pagan too. He's literally that's literally where he came from. He was a pagan. He was pagan. He is the god, the stag god.
Stag god.
They took his horns off of his head and put them on his ear. There's literally a song about it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Yuletide song.
You're gonna have
Santa Claus is pagan too, by Emerald Rose, and it's the best.
Oh, I've never heard that. Gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, so it's Yuletide in the house when I start playing Santa Claus is pagan too.
Is that your number one favorite holiday song?
It's my favorite one.
My husband likes to really harass me with when the snowman brings the snow song because it just drives me up a wall, and he knows that, so he likes to just play that.
I love a bit of 80s Christmas music. Those are the best. I'm not out of Whamageddon yet either. So I'm quite
I'm
not been whammed yet.
I'm not either, but then I also don't really listen to a lot of Christmas tunes. I listen to a lot of like punk and rock covers of Christmas songs, and so that one doesn't tend to make the cut unless what gets me is when I go into supermarkets or something like that or go shopping. That's when I tend to get got. But because of COVID, thank you COVID, Whamageddon free.
Right, that's literally why I think I haven't been got yet, actually, because I've not been to any shops.
Yes.
And they've not been playing it on the radio, which is quite good when I've been listening to the radio. So
I don't listen to the radio, so that's that out altogether.
You're never going to get whammed.
I know, unless I have to go into a supermarket, then that's where they'll get me, I think.
Yeah. Only the original though. Remixes don't count.
No, exactly. Christmas Day, what are we drinking?
Christmas Day, I'm saving this one for Christmas Day. So this is Brew York's Nightmare of Brew York 2020. That's what I'm saving for Christmas Day, which is a coffee and walnut cake imperial milk stout.
Yes, I've got
I'm
that as
excited for that
well. I think both of us got
That's what
all
I'm
three
saving.
of them,
Yeah.
didn't we?
And today we're going to drink, for your listening pleasure, Fairy Tale of Brew York 2020, which is a peanut, pecan, maple, and vanilla milk stout. And they've done
I'm so excited.
They've done a trilogy, haven't they? Now mine's
Yes.
hidden in my advent calendar. Can
But
you tell
I've
us what it is?
kindly taken mine out. It is Dreams of Brew York 2020, which is a cranberry and blueberry pastry sour.
See, that one's interesting. See, I put that one in my advent calendar because I thought it was the least Christmassy of the flavors, even though it's got
I think
cranberry
it's.
in
I was
it.
going to say it's the cranberry. Really,
Yeah.
I was surprised that they
Blueberry.
chose to have this one as like a sour. I suppose. Like I thought it was
yeah.
interesting. I thought it was really unique because when you think, I think Christmas beers, you tend to think heavier, like warmer stouts, porters, like that kind of stuff. You don't really think sours when you think Christmas beers. So I think that was an interesting one. But I did want a cranberry. I wanted some type of cranberry beer, so that was a good one to go for.
Well, should we carry on with what we're drinking today? And
let's carry on with what we're drinking.
As well as our Fairy Tale of Brew York, we are drinking Broken Leg from Lab Culture, which is a gingerbread porter, which we've been very excited about. That came in our subscription box from...
Yes, that was from Zoe, the Coffee and Cask.
Coffee and Cask, that's the one.
Yes.
And then we have got...
You picked these ones up
yes, I did. Winter Mild by Time and Tide, but it's actually brewed with Deal Hop Farm hops, and that's a community growing project. So people all around Deal will collect hop plants at the right time of year, and then they grow them in their gardens, on their windowsills, in their allotments, and then they do a community collection of all the hops from around Deal, and then Time and Tide brew with them. So that's
really cool. I think we had mentioned that. I think at some point maybe during sustainability. I can't remember if it was actually on the podcast or we had a chat about it after with one of our long chats after.
Yeah.
But I remember you telling me that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah,
but maybe today as well, because we've got a stout and we've got a porter, you can break down the difference between the stout and the porter.
We've got a stout and a porter and a mild. So
you can break down the difference between all of them, because I need to know. Because to me, I just go same, and you're like, they're not same.
No. Dark beer education. Here we come.
Before we move on to it,
yes.
What other beers? Because we have a few other examples of what else we're drinking. I know both of us have like lots of Christmas themed beers, but we picked out some of our top ones that we're excited to try over this festive period. Which ones did you start?
So there are lots of Christmassy Belgian beers, but I this year have picked up Gordon Xmas. Mainly because it's called Gordon and my husband is called Gordon, and I thought that was funny.
That's fair.
It's 8.8%. I'm expecting it's a brown beer. And I'm expecting that to be quite spicy.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's exciting. I've then also got this massive bottle, if you're watching on the video, of
it's huge.
Leafman's Glue Crack, which is obviously a cherry beer. So Crack is a cherry beer, but it has already got the spices in it, I believe, to be mulled. So you can do mulled Crack like Glühwein, mulled wine.
Right. Yeah.
It's Glue Crack, so you can do it like that. So I think the spices are already in it, and you just warm it up. If not, I'm sure I can add a few spices.
I was going to say you can figure it out.
Yeah, I can wear that out.
I think that it's comical how big that was as well, because
massive.
I don't know if you saw on our forum the other day, I got so much crap for having tiny hands. Yes. My hands are normal size. They're normal sized hands. Everyone else has freakishly big hands. That's not my fault. But I'm just thinking of how much I would get if I were to hold that bottle.
It's a 750ml. I'm feeling it. I think it's got cork in it as well. So
if I held that, everyone would be going, "Where's your hands? I don't even see them."
Strangeness that happens on the beer forum, everybody. And then my last one is from one of our local brewers, the Canterbury Ales. Get what they did there? See what they did there? Canterbury Ales. Yeah,
got it. I got it.
And this is the Host's Ale. Which is a winter warmer. Now, this is actually one of my favourite Christmassy beers because it's a dark beer, and then it's got loads of ginger and spices in it. It goes really well with roast turkey for your Christmas dinner. And I've got another bottle of it this year because I'm hoping to mull it and see what it's like mulled.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit. That's an interesting one. The longer that Canterbury ale sits with me, the funnier it gets as well. Like, so just thinking about it, it's like, oh, you guys.
So they've got great names as well. So they use names like from the Canterbury Tales. So there's like the Merchant's Ale, the Pardoner's Ale, the Wife of Bath's Ale, the Miller's Ale, the Knight's Ale. Like all their different ones have different names from the Canterbury Ales. So
that one sounds particularly nice as well. I kind of wish I had one because it sounds really good.
Send you one,
please.
I got it from our farm shop down the road. So next time
if they've got any left, could you please?
They will have. Yeah, I'll grab you one.
Thank you. This is how I get spoiled.
Yeah, I've got another beer I've got to send you anyway. So
I've just sent you 2 of our alcohol-free.
Oh yeah.
For our upcoming episode that we'll do for dry January.
Yes, so we're gonna be looking at low and no alcohol beers.
Spoiler or exclusive. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Yeah, we need a breaking news sound. We need a soundboard. But yeah. Was that all the ones that you had then?
That's all of mine. That is all of mine.
So moving on to the ones I had. So my logic behind all the Christmas beers I've bought, and I've probably got at least like 12, 15 maybe, I don't know. I was going to make a whole advent calendar of them, but then I realized I didn't really want to drink every single night. So then that idea, I basically, deep six.
You don't want to drink every night. What are you talking about? It's December.
I prefer to binge on weekends, please. So
please drink responsibly, everyone.
Yes, definitely drink. Do not binge at weekends.
No.
So I just went with things that sounded either really interesting or things that had just an obvious festive theme to it that I could not buy. So the first one I went with, and I felt like maybe I could have sold a kidney to afford this, was the Omnipolo. This is the Bianca, but it's the eggnog. Lassie goes. I know you're not a massive eggnog person. I'm not a massive eggnog person, but I didn't actually sell a kidney. It was like 10-13 quid, but that's still for me for something I don't know if I'm gonna love. It was a bit high. 6% ABV. I just thought it would be quite interesting. I quite like the can. Look at that nice little.
See, I'm a massive Bianca fan, but I'm not.
Not for you.
Eggnog's not for me.
I saw somebody else had tried it and posted a photo. It's not how I would expect it to look based on all the other. Well, based on what it's supposed to taste like. Yeah. But also based on other Biancas, it didn't look like thick. Like it didn't look like. Yeah.
Normally they're like smoothie.
It wasn't. So I'll have to let you know as soon as I have. Yeah. Then I got the Salt and Beer Paradise Collab Stingo Bells, which is a Panettone Stingo. It's a 7.4% beer. I don't know what a Stingo is. I just bought it because I like Panettone. So
so a Stingo beer. While we're there, so it is a it's a northern beer, I believe. Breweries like Samuel Smith's do them, and they are aged for at least a year in oak casks, so they end up with like Christmas fruitcake type flavors in them. So that is quite this time of year type beer. I like a bit of Panettone as well.
What it says is a Panettone flavored. So I don't really like raisins and dried fruits much. So I don't usually like the normal Panettone. I usually like the ones that are super unhealthy. The chocolate Panettones, the chocolate chip Panettones, like all those ones that is just not, don't put fruit in it. That's just, for me, wrong.
A bit of sultana in it. But I had a champagne one year and I've just never found one that was as nice as that.
What?
But it was like someone bought it for the office.
Blown my mind. You've blown my mind. I don't think I can handle it.
I don't know where it was from. I think it was Marks and Spencer's. Champagne. It's got to be Marks and Spencer's, isn't it?
I'm gonna have to look out for that.
But it was delicious. But I've never seen it since, and no Panettone has ever stood up to that one since I had it. Ruined all Italian cake for me.
So this one says that it's the panettone flavoured Yorkshire Stingo brewed in collaboration with Beer Paradise. It does say a traditional ale originating from the north of England. So there you go. I didn't actually read the side of the can prior to now. I just
What have
went,
I
yeah,
told
put it in the
you?
basket. Put it in the
Read
basket.
the label.
No, I just wanted to just buy it because it was
Yeah.
Christmas themed. So it does say rich malty notes up front with flavors of vanilla, chocolate, almonds, rum, and raisin. So I don't mind raisin when it's in a beer. I just don't. I think it's a texture thing. Why I don't like having raisins flat out. The next one I got was the Vocation Naughty and Nice Chocolate Stout.
That one sounds delicious.
Yeah, 7.4%. I've not had it yet. Obviously, this is the only one that I've bought because I just tried to buy one of all of them. But no invocation, it's probably gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
So I'm not concerned
good.
it's gonna. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about that. And then this is the one that I was most interested in getting. And I don't know if I've seen a lot of press on it on the forums or anything like that. But it's Anspach and Hob Day from London. It's Pfeffernuss Stout. It's a really pretty label.
They have really lovely
Father Christmas on
can
it.
art.
And then it's I thought it looks really nice. So I know this one. So it says based on the German Christmas biscuit of the same name, which I didn't know that was a German biscuit, but I found out obviously after I got this. Pfeffernuss Stout brings together a rich malty stout with the perfect blend of festive spices. Ginger and cinnamon aromatics precede biscuity malts and warming spices on the palate.
Ooh.
So I'm really excited for that because you know how I feel about my cinnamons and nutmegs and all that. So I'm very excited. But those are the ones that I thought would be the most exciting ones to show. They're the ones I haven't seen that I have out of all the ones I have that I've not seen repetitively. So
so get out there and buy some festive beers, everybody. I got mine from Trembling Madness or locally. Where did you get yours from?
I got mine from Left Field Beer, but that's not all of them. So it's a mix. Some of them came from Left Field Beer. Some of them came locally. That Anspach I got from Elusive directly when I went to Elusive. Brew Yorks, I think I got from Yorkshire Beers. Just a mix of different bottle shops, really.
Support local, everybody.
Check your bottle shops if you want to see what's nearby to you that still has like a good selection. So if you don't want all of the same thing, your local bottle shop should have some really good selection.
Yes.
For you.
Right. Shall we crack our first one? What do you want to go with first?
Which one do you think with your expertise is the best one to start with?
I think we start with the winter mild.
Okay. I'm using my Brewdog tasting glasses again. I can't promise they're beer clean. I really tried, but
right. So I've just scrubbed these, my tasting glasses. So we will see.
I'm afraid because of how much I've been told that they are prone to breaking. Like I heard they're very emotional. They'll just break if you look at them.
They're emotional.
A friend has told me they're very emotional glasses. If you look at them, they'll have a breakdown. They don't like it. So I've been very careful with my cleaning with them.
See, now I scrubbed these and there's still a little bit. I think these are scratched, which is annoying because I've not had them very long. Oh, that is not the colour I thought it was going to be.
It's got like a deep, when you hold it up to the light, it's quite deep red, and the head on it holds pretty well. It's like an off-white, like tannish kind of head, but it's really red in the light.
It's very red. Yeah, I expected it to be darker than that. I expected it to be more dark brown, but it's very chestnut red.
Yeah, I had no real expectations. I just thought, how's this going to pour? And it looks dark from down here, and then when you hold it up to the light, it's very red.
It's got a nice chocolatey aroma.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, I don't know how to feel. Like it's good, but I can't put into words like what I'm tasting. I'm trying to think on it, and it's like not what I expected. So I'm taken aback a bit. Where I'm like, oh.
It's so it's got a little bit of chocolate to it. But it's also got, I feel like it's got a bit of a tea note to it.
Yeah, I can get that.
And I would say that's because, I would say that's probably from the hops. So it's got Prima Donna hops in it. I don't know much about Prima Donna. I should have looked them up. But yeah, I think we're getting that herbally like black tea-ness from the hops. And then they've
Yeah.
used Vienna, crystal, chocolate, caramunic, and roasted barley. So that's
I
where
was going to say,
the
I think I'm
chocolate.
getting a bit. I think I'm getting a bit of the barleyness
Yeah,
in it.
bit
The
of
roasted.
roasty.
Yeah, that's. I think what's throwing me off is it like there's chocolate, but it's not. It's not any like bittersweet cacao or anything like that.
Yep.
But it's not fudgy. It's just a normal chocolate, and then it's that mixed with the roasted barley. I think it's quite nice. I don't know if it makes me feel Christmas in particular, but it's really nice.
Yeah. So the crystal and the caramunic will have added extra sweetness because they've got sugar crystals in them. So that's where the sweetness is coming from. You're getting a chocolatiness from the chocolate. That colour is going to be from that lovely mixture of the malts. And the roasted barley, you're getting a little bit of roastiness. It is a lovely winter beer, I think. It's just right for the season. Yeah.
Well, that's it. It's very winter appropriate for sure. I said it doesn't make me feel Christmas per se, but it is definitely winter. It's nice. I feel like I could enjoy it by a fire, like a nice fireside drink.
6.9%, mind.
It
does not taste 6.9%.
No, it tastes. I think it's a bit like thinner on the mouth as well. So like consistency wise, it's a bit thin. So it almost sort of comes across. You don't get a heavy booziness to it or anything. It tastes like maybe a 4. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say about a 4.
I thought it was going to be 4, and it's not. And I was like, oh, surprised.
Really surprised. I was surprised that you've just said that because I didn't. Yeah. Again, because you just sent it, I sort of put it in a box and I didn't look at the ABV. I was just like, look at it when we drink. 6.9, nearly 7. Tastes like a 4.
Yeah.
And when I say it's thin, it's not. There is the thinness to it, but it's not like it's thin and watery, like it's lacking flavor to it. There's the right amount of flavor for it. It's really nice.
I like it. It's good.
I do as well.
Recommended. I believe Time and Tide do delivery. So if you go to their website, they may well have some of this on.
I don't know if they. I was going to say I don't know if they still have it available. Because I think you managed to get it like right when it came out, and I don't think it was on their website when I looked because I tried to find it to send to somebody else and I couldn't find it. So the difference. So we were saying at the beginning, there's obviously we're doing the stout, the porter, and the mild. Obviously, I know there's differences between them, and then there's the similarities, but there's a host of differences. What do you want to get in and explain that a bit with your technical wisdoms?
Yeah. So basically, the porter, the stout, and the mild are all from the same sort of family of beers. They began with the porter, which was made for the working classes. They really enjoyed it when it was made, and it came about when Daniel Wheeler in the 1800s developed the drum roaster for kilning malts. Before that, malts had been dried out and kilned in stoves, by fire, either by wood or coal fires, and it was really unpredictable what you'd get. So you'd get some bits that were really overdone, some bits that weren't done at all, and to make it in a really large scale was quite difficult. So he had seen coffee roasting drums and developed something that was similar for kilning malts. So then you could get a really consistent colour on your malt, and maltsters were able to get even darker malt. So that's when patent black malt came about, and because of all these different consistently made malts, they were then able to make new styles, and porter came about with the darker roasted malts. So from a porter, you then got stout, which was a stouter porter, so therefore it was higher ABV, and then it developed into this thicker, sweeter beer that we recognise today. When Arthur Guinness got hold of it, he took the style over to Ireland.
Shocker.
Shocker.
I do not believe it.
Where's Guinness from? So he developed Guinness by taking the porter, making it stronger, and he then slapped export stout on it. And this is where we get Guinness from. So the Russians came over and really enjoyed, Peter the Great really enjoyed drinking porter and wanted it back in the Russian court. However, by the time porter got back to Russia, which is a 1,000-mile journey, it spoiled. So English brewers were like, what are we going to do? Let's make it a bit stronger so that the alcohol helps it last longer on the journey. That's where we get imperial stouts from, because it was originally called Imperial Russian Stout because it was for the Russian royal family. And then you get mild. So porters could, like at that point in time, they were then blending beers. So sometimes you had stale older beer, it would get blended with newer younger beer. And so the mild actually comes from it was a new young beer, and that's why it was called mild.
It sounds like a Brewdog project.
Yeah,
we'll just take our old beer, our young beer, we'll put it together.
Well, there's lots of different styles that are blends of older and younger and more aged and less aged. So mild was basically not an aged or a stale beer, it was a younger beer, which is why it was called a mild. And so that's where all of these different styles come from.
It's funny you say about it originally being called an Imperial Russian Stout, because I have seen, and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but recently I have seen a beer that has been released that was called an Imperial Russian Stout. And I was thinking, what makes that Russian as opposed to just a normal Imperial Stout?
So on the back of that, you're getting extra info from me here, because actually this is
redact it
because this is the theme for my beer membership, the Beer Tent Society this month.
A teaser, right? Don't give a full thing. Give a teaser that just little feeds somebody to then want to go and check it fully out. Go.
We in the Beer Tent Society, we are going to look at a different beer style every month to build your beer knowledge about beer styles. And this month happens to be Imperial Stout because I thought it would go really well with Christmas. So
don't say any more. Don't say any more. Leave it there if you want to find out.
Why
fully about Imperial Stouts, Imperial Russian Stouts.
Come join the Beer Tent Society.
Join the Beer Tent Society. Don't give it away. I think you've given us like good knowledge on the three differences. That bit, you've got to pay for that bit.
Yeah, you got to come and pay for that.
That's the extra bit.
Come and join the Beer Tent Society.
You give the base level, the good like base level on here for me to not be so stupid. And anything extra, that's Beer Tent. Yeah.
Come join Love Beer Learning.
I see. I'm going to be joining the Beer Tent so I can find out about Russian Imperials.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. Oh, I'm really enjoying sipping on this.
It's really lovely. It's lovely.
It's getting roastier as it goes.
So I think as it's warming up.
Yeah. I mean mine was already.
Yeah, yours wasn't particularly cold anyway.
No. I didn't get to taste the evolution of the taste like I normally enjoy doing. It's a bit I feel like I'm getting it might be the barley, I'm not sure, it might be something else. I am getting that bit of maltiness sort of to it, and I don't know if that's maybe what other bit it would be. There
is a sweetness to it, like a cereally sweetness.
Exactly. It's not just that level of like chocolate sweet, sugar sweet. It's the like malty sweetness.
And because it's the lighter, she says air quotes, of the styles, you're getting more of like, it's not got a massive whack of roastedness in it. You've got a little bit in there to make that balance, but the Vienna's are slightly kind of middle base malt. The Crystal and the Caramunic are going to add toffee and caramelly malts. We've got a bit of
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
maybe it's the toffiness that I'm getting, where it's not like the type of toffee that it is. It's more that lighter, sweeter toffee, as opposed to when you have the more like fuller toffee effect. You know what I mean, like the roastier toffee.
Yeah, this isn't massively roasty. Like there's a little bit in there to to kind of balance out the sweetness from the other malts. But this is a slightly maltier beer than we're going to get when we move into the porter and the stout.
Yeah, I think this was quite an interesting one to try, and I'm still kind of blown away that when you hold it up to the light, it is as red as it
colour.
is.
Like I always expect a mild to be more brown, and this is really red.
I think that's what's blowing my mind is when you look down at it, it does have a brownness to it, and it's really only when you do that you see, like you said, the chestnut red color to it, and I was like, oh, it just doesn't look the way you think it's going to taste. It's really quite nice. I want to enjoy the rest. I want to go light my fireplace and enjoy the rest of it. I'm going to put this to the side now, or I'll just keep drinking it.
I know I put mine because I was like, I want to save that. I'm going to drink some more later.
Gonna save that. I'm going to have to share a bit of it, but I'm very nice. I'm benevolent. So
yeah, I'm lucky Gordon won't drink these. These are all mine.
I made the mistake of asking. I said, do you want to try some? He said, what's the flavors? I told him the flavors, and I was like, why am I telling you? Because I know that the second I tell you, you're going to be into it. So fine.
Rookie mistake. Right, shall we move on to the broken leg?
Yes, I think this is the one that I was really looking forward to the most, because I'd never got a chance to try Lab Culture before they ceased. They ceased making beer. And so when we got this, I'm already getting gingerbread smells, and I've only just cracked the can open.
It's lively.
Not even decanted it yet. But when we found out we got those in the coffee and cask, I was so excited. And we thought we had to save it for the holidays. Oh, it is lively. Look at it go.
Yeah. Oh, you've got massive head. Mine's got about an inch of head. It's beige.
Yeah.
Nice and creamy and rocky. It's very red.
Let's see.
It's a red colour.
Yeah. Weirdly, again, didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is almost a deeper.
Yeah.
This is like deep cranberry red.
Yes.
The thing is, if you're drinking this on your end as the listener, hold it up to the light. Like if you just look at it, normal on the table, it looks dark. And I guess that's the thing, is if I never held it up to the light and I was sort of rating it, here's a trick for you. If I just looked at it, didn't hold it up to the light or anything, I'd make a note of this saying the appearance is just dark, just a really dark color with a nice decent head on it. But when you hold it up to the light, it's very deep cranberry red.
Yeah, that's a pro taste beer taster tip, that is. Make sure you hold it up to the light, or if you're a proper geek, get your beer torch out and stick that through it.
Don't have one of those. I can say I don't have one of those yet.
No, you've got a phone instead.
Yeah, just got a light. I just hold it. I go up to the ceiling and I go, is this right?
It's proper ginger.
Yeah, but it almost smelled more gingerbread.
Yeah.
When I opened the can, and more just straight ginger out of the glass.
Oh, it's got a bit of cardamom in it, so yeah, I can.
Oh, there you go.
I can smell that.
Oh, that doesn't taste like I thought.
No,
I'm getting just not gingerbread, just ginger.
Just ginger. Yeah,
just ginger. Like if you were to take ginger ale, it tastes like ginger ale.
Yeah. I want to do something a bit more biscuity.
I did too. I'm a bit gutted that it wasn't more biscuity. It's unique.
It's nice.
It's unique. It's not something I would have anticipated.
No.
But I think if I had gone to a shop and bought this expecting this is what it is, as opposed to getting it in like a mixed pack, I think I would have been slightly disappointed, because my expectation of what it was going to be is different. And maybe that's just on me and the expectation I put on it, because it I don't know, it's just because it says at the top we love gingerbread, so in my brain it's like gonna be biscuity, a nice baked good, and it's just ginger.
Yeah, so it's on the back, it says that it is brewed with a blend of ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, cardamom and cloves. It's got a
I only get the ginger
base. But I'm getting, it's the ginger is, I like, it's lovely, and I think it's really refreshing. And I think to have it between the mild and what the milk stout that we've got coming next,
palate cleanser,
proper palate cleanser. But I wanted biscuity, Like
I wanted more cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, cardamom, cloves, and I'm just getting ginger. So it's not quite what, and like you said, the malty biscuit base, not really getting that. So I think in terms of, is it a gingerbread? I wouldn't call it a gingerbread, but I'd call it a ginger ale beer.
And it's quite thin. That's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
But I would have liked.
I was expecting it a bit thicker than it was.
Body.
I think.
Yeah, touch more body. I know porters tend to be thinner, but I
bet you could make some type of whiskey beer cocktail with this, like a whiskey ginger type beer cocktail.
Or hot toddy.
Yes, exactly that. I wonder what this would taste like if you were to kind of try warming this one up. And I don't know. Yeah, I think that it would make a decent beer cocktail.
Would, actually. Shall I tell you how to mull some ale?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Right, that's the perfect segue.
I was like, cut in there.
We didn't even plan it. Let's just say we knew that we were going to talk about mulling it, but that segue, au natural, didn't plan it.
So, so you can mull wine and cider. You can also mull ale. It's kind of fallen out of fashion, newer times, but it has been like mulled ale was a thing many years ago. So I found a recipe for one. Now this one calls for a golden ale, and then you're going to need honey, a cinnamon stick, cloves, nutmeg, a peel of a lemon, some salt, and either brandy, rum, or whiskey, whichever is your poison. And you'd stick all the ingredients apart from the spirit in a pan, simmer them, and then but not bring it to the boil, and then take it off the heat, add the spirit, let it cool down for a little bit, pop some more nutmeg on the top. There you go. You've got some mulled
You always need more nutmeg.
Always need more. I'd probably chuck a bit more cinnamon in myself.
I'd probably cinnamon to literally just dump a whole thing of cinnamon in and go, it's fine. This is how I like it. This is exactly what I want.
It's pretty simple. Chuck some spices in there, whatever you fancy. I think this one particularly, stick a bit of honey, some lemon peel, and some more spices in. Well, I think you might not even need extra spices.
What I'd say about it, I think it just needs something to balance it out, and I can't say what it is that I think it needs to balance it out per se. There's different things that I can think of, like you just said, like putting a bit of honey in it. I think even just adding, cinnamon, nutmeg, those type of spices into it will balance it out, because ginger has a very particular taste to it, and I think you kind of need something to just pull it back a bit, if you know what I mean, and make it a bit more warmer, I guess is what I'd say, for lack of a better way, is make it a bit more warmer in the spices, if that makes sense.
It's very fresh. And you want more of that warmingness that you get from gingerbread. And
that being said, if you love ginger, you're gonna like it. If you wanted gingerbread, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed if that's what you were expecting to get out of it. But we should try to come up with save the rest of this and try to come up with an interesting beer cocktail on the fly. I've got like booze behind me. I'll just throw some stuff in.
I've got some whiskey downstairs.
Oh yeah, I've got like lots of provisions behind me. I'll do little samples of like what works, what didn't work. You could make the mulled beer on your beer tent. That's what you should do.
I should do that later.
Live mulled wine.
Do a session. Yeah, could do. Maybe that's what I'm going to do this evening.
That's the trade-off that I've just given you. I've given you something in return for the knowledge that you've given me.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to save the rest of that, and I'm going to try to beer cocktail it later.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm excited about the fairy tale.
I'm excited for this one. So I've had it in previous years, and it's been quite delicious. It is. I think it's a staple Christmas beer nowadays from Brew York.
I was really excited to see all three of the release come out.
I know. I was like, buy it.
I got these ones for us at Yorkshire Craft Beer, and they didn't even have a price tag on it at the time. That's what
new.
It was out on the shelves. They had literally just got it, and I was like, and he had to say, there's no price tag on it. And I was like, I don't care. I'll just take them, because I thought it saves us both putting in an order.
Yeah. This is just how we roll now. We just send beers backwards and forwards.
Send it back and forth. The head on that is really decent.
Gorgeous head. Yeah, that's a nice
It feels like the right
dark
amount has
beige.
come out.
Really creamy. It is
Oh, it
very dark brown.
smells sweet.
So I told you about
I
stouts,
like
but
it.
actually this is a milk stout.
Oh,
So
are you allowed to tell us the
yeah, I can tell you
difference
about
between
milk
a stout and a milk
so,
stout?
so actually, a milk stout has to have a certain percentage of lactose or milk sugars in it for it to be called a milk stout.
Okay.
There was quite a famous court case because Mackeson's created the first milk stout, and then other breweries started making milk stouts, and they took them to court because they didn't, because they were saying milk because they were trying to make it healthy. So it's like, have a milk stout because it's got the good.
Is that like
milk
Guinness?
stuff in
Have a
it.
Guinness because there's protein in it and there's all these
Well, do you
amazing
know,
things.
actually, my friend, when my friend was pregnant, her doctor told her to drink Guinness because it had lots of iron in it. True fact. So so Guinness was drunk because it had lots of iron in it. Milk stouts people thought were good for you because they had milk proteins in them. So Maxon's actually took another brewery to court because it didn't have the correct percentage of lactose, milk sugars in it for it to be called a milk stout. So to be called a milk stout in the UK, there is a particular percentage of lactose that has to be in it. Fun fact.
And if you get any Brew York beers, you're going to get what I really like about Brew York beers is this back bit. If you're watching on the camera, you can see I've just shown it there. There's like a little, it looks like a spider web. I'll describe it as a spider web. And it says hop, it's spread out around it clockwise. It says hop, fruit, sweet, mouthfeel, bitter, and malt. And they sort of target that's how they do their taster notes effectively, is like, here's what you're going to get. And I quite like it because I'm a visual person. So for me, I look at that and I can go, oh, it lands quite heavily in the mouthfeel, sweet, and fruit area. I like hop quite a bit, but when it comes to this type of a beer, what I want is sweet and mouthfeel, and I'll take the fruit if I've got to, but it's really leaning heavily towards sweet. They also have something at the bottom that says nuttiness, and there's some silly looking nuts at the bottom.
Hazelnuts.
Yeah. And there's 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
so yeah,
not
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 nuts at the bottom. So that, I thought that was quite interesting because I hadn't actually noticed that on the back of any of their cans before.
So I love the Brew York cans because they are so full of information. Like they're really free with it. Like it also tells you what hops and what malts are used. They use CTZ hops for bittering, it says in particular, and you're going to want to put some hops in to bitter this a little bit to balance out all the sweetness that's coming from the others. And then the malts are pale crystal 150, flaked barley, flaked oats, that's going to give that lovely creamy mouthfeel as well as the lactose, crystal 400, chocolate, and black malt. So that's that patent black malt that I was talking about that we got from the drum roaster. And this has also got, supposed to have peanut flavour, buttery pecan, complex maple, and a creamy vanilla with just a hint of cinnamon spice.
Yeah, and what I love as well is that their artwork is always really nice, really nice cartoony artwork. This one's got a little happy snowman and a little Christmas candle on it. What I hate about it is it's not a label I can just take off. So I haven't figured out how I'm going to attack this yet. I've been told that if you take a razor to it, down to the bottom,
so there's a seam.
This seam. I've been told if you hit the seam,
and then it just peels off, because I've done that before. But the problem is they are slightly curved. So then if you want it flat, you've got to snip into this bit to make it flat. So I was collecting the can wraps at one point, but they take up a lot more space than my flat ones do. I was going to say, I was like, I don't know what to do with them. So I ended up throwing them away.
I ended up just keeping the cans. I was going to make candles out of all these cans that I had. The problem being the wicks that I bought in my candle kit, they burn really quickly. And so I kind of gave up. I put it on hold. I didn't give up. I put it on hold till I found out a solution, because I thought you can make a really bitching candle, like Fairy Tale of Brew York Christmas candle, by putting Christmas seasoning in it, and it will smell all festive. And that will be a nice little decoration. But I need to solve the wick problem first.
Right.
But anyways, back to the beer.
Oh,
it smells really sweet and nutty. I'm getting the pecan quality out of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting pecan. peanut.
Going in.
Very sweet. I've already had some. It's delicious.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
This is not only everything that I wanted and needed, it's what I didn't even know that I wanted. Like, it's not massively, so it says like mouthfeel, and it's sort of like medium levels of mouthfeel. I would say it's kind of on the thinner side as opposed to on the heavier side.
Yes.
But I don't mind that at all. It's really, I think maybe that's what keeps the sweetness a bit back, like a bit from being overpowering, is having a slight less mouthfeel to it.
Yeah, it's stopping it from being cloying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really lovely. It's a really nice balance of, there's a little bit of roastiness, there's a sweetness, there's the nuttiness.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting a very tiny bit of spice at the end. It's not massive, but
I'm getting heavy nuts at the end.
Yeah, nuts.
It's very nutty at the end for me.
It's lovely.
I'm really happy with it. I really don't want to share it.
No one's having. I'm glad that Gordon won't drink this. This is all mine.
Rick definitely will. Damn him.
See, rookie mistake. Don't share.
What's going to be even worse is around when it's literally the week of Christmas and his sister's sort of around. She also likes beer as well, and it's going to become a that's interesting. I'm not going to keep it for. I want to spread the good word of craft beer, but I just want to have 2 of everything. So I can go, here's mine, you two can share this.
Yeah.
Fight for half of this can over there, away from me.
Yeah. See, depending on how you look at it, I've not really got anybody else that drinks craft beer with me. And actually, I take that back, because I'm really sad this year that I'm probably not going to be able to go visit my uncle and his family for New Year's, because normally we go to his house. Well, we went to my cousin's house last year, and we all get together and have New Year's together. And we've started this game that's called "What Weird Beers Can Joanne Bring to the Party?" and I just
bring your own glasses as well. Please tell me you bring your own glass.
Last year I didn't, but I was going to consider it this year. No, I just made my cousin unlock her display cabinet so I could have one of her wine glasses.
Of course, you might as well.
Where are your wine glasses? I need a wine glass for my beer, because I've taken like Overworks with me. I took some Amazons. I took like some heavy hitters with me, and it was just like, and then they're always like, because my uncle, like when I was a child, I remember him drinking like,
it's the Courage. Ice cream truck.
Yeah, this is the ice cream man. He drinks like, he was drinking Courage, Best Bitter, then he kind of transitioned into Foster's, which I always thought was slightly odd, and then he was quite proud of himself because he was drinking Doom Bar. he was like, I'm drinking Doom Bar.
Look at me.
And then of course, I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast yet, but then he told me that he'd been drinking IPAs, and actually had been drinking Green King IPA.
I think you told me separately.
Oh, yeah. So he was just like, I've been drinking IPA, and he bought a Goose Island IPA, and I was like, you're not going to like it. Oh yeah, look, you're not going to like. What have you been drinking? Green King IPA. Yeah, not the same at all.
Bless him.
So I ended up having to drink the Goose Island IPA.
I'm sure it was difficult.
Yeah,
it was really difficult.
Yeah, really difficult. And so now he's on to Doom Bar, or he has a John Smith's. So I've got these beers, and he's always just like, "What are you drinking?" So last year it just got passed around. So there's him, my aunt, my uncle's best friend, who I've known my entire life because they've been friends since they were like little kids. And we just and like his family, and then so we just pass my glass around, and everyone goes, "Ugh, what's that? Ugh, what's that?" Well, I'm
at
just
least
like,
they try it though. At least
it's a juniper gin barrel aged sour. What are you talking about? It's delicious.
We've been working on my nephew. He's 21, so we went up for his 21st birthday when we weren't in lockdown or anything like that, and we brought all these beers with us, and he's normally drinking, what 21-year-olds drink. They were like, I've got Hop House 13 or something like that. Yeah. And I was like, try this. And he tried it. He's like, I've been trying a lot of IPAs lately. And so I was like, drink this. And he's like, that's really nice. I think I gave him like a siren or something. Yeah. He's like, oh, that's really nice. I was like, I know. Every time I'd pour one, I'd be like, drink that one now. And he'd be like, oh, I like this one. It's really hoppy. I was like, I know. So I think for Christmas, what we might do is, he's based in Manchester. So I said to my husband, I said, oh, we should get him some beers that are sort of entry level craft, but easily accessible to somebody up in the north. I mean, they've got so many amazing breweries up north and around that area in general, that I was like, if we get him something that's based from that area, then you know that he can probably easily go and get it somewhere. I know he might try things he's never tried before, but yeah, every time we show up to my in-laws, it's always funny beers. We have your funny beers in the fridge, and
I'm going to be sad that I
become
can't
the funny
do that this
beer
year.
people.
Because then I thought as well, I was quite prolific on my brewing this year as well. I could have taken some of the beers that I actually made to them. That would have been really interesting. But with old COVID, that's not going to happen this year.
I know. I had to cancel my flight to the US, which is a really tough decision, because I hated the fact the decision was on me to do that, because the airline didn't cancel it. So I was the one that had to make that tough decision, instead of being able to say, sorry, out my hands, airline cancelled it. My sister has the 4 different varieties of the Sour Patch Kid sour beers that we were going to try. She's got me some peanut butter chocolate chip cannoli stouts. Ooh. She's got me a Reese's peanut butter stout. There was another one she got me that I can't remember what it was, but she got that as well. And then she's tagged me in a post for our local liquor store, which is it's more like what we'd get as a bottle shop here that also has macro beer. And she's tagged me in that, and it was a new Mikkeller that's like a barrel-aged Mikkeller that's come out, and they're going to have some, and she's like, I think I need to get you this as well. I was like, yeah, please, like buy me all the beer. I'm happy, like, and I enjoy getting to share it with somebody I love, even if she hates them, because she's like, I don't like them sweet. She would hate this because she hates sweet, she doesn't like it. I'm like, it's nice to be able to share something like beer with somebody that you care about, and then you get to go experience what I really enjoy over the holidays and like festive periods like that. So it's just a shame that we can't be there to do it, but I think we'll do what we have to do this year, and then next year will be one epic Christmas.
Keep listening to the podcast, and we'll have an epic catch up this time next year with that what are we doing for Christmas. It'll be on the road, because Tori will be phoning in from the US.
I'll be phoning in. Well, that's what we can have guests stars. I'll have my sister on it, you can have someone on your end on it. It will be one big up. It will be great. But you've been doing I didn't get an advent calendar this year. You got an advent calendar.
I've got
What's
2.
Your advent?
I've got two. So I bought one. I bought one. I bought one. I bought the Brewdog one. Now, usually the Brewdog one's quite epic, and it's like all the crazy beers from over the year. But this year it was just a ordinary one, air quotes, because there'll still be like interesting beers in it. So I specifically bought that one, and I did look at the list of what was in it, because there's some of their more interesting beers they've done this year that I haven't been able to get hold of, and I know that they're in the advent calendar. So for the price of the Brewdog advent calendar, I bought it because I wanted those different beers. But there's also going to be headliners and whatnot in there as well.
How much was that? I didn't actually catch the price of it, because I was supposed to be in the US, so I didn't buy any advent calendar.
I think it was 40 quid.
That's not bad. Even if you get a bunch of fridge fillers, it doesn't matter.
I think there's 10 in there that I haven't had before, so I was just like, actually 40 quid for 10 beers that I've not had before, and I've not been able to get my hands on, and won't be able to get my hands on. Actually, I was like, I don't mind paying that.
It's less hassle, isn't it? Even if you had to buy a 4-pack or something, it's like you could get a whole mix of things, or you could go out and buy a 4-pack, 12-pack, whatever. So you might as well mix it up.
The ones that I've had before, I'm setting aside, and I'm going to do a little beer cocktail R&D project over the Christmas period with those. See if I can come up with some interesting beer cocktails with the ones that I've had before. So watch this space.
Feel like you can make a personal challenge out to everybody else, come up with a better beer cocktail than you by the end of that period.
So they're set aside. But then so last year I made my own advent calendar, because what I had wanted a Honest Brew one, and I missed out on it. It sold out before I could get it. The year before that, I'd had an Ultimate Honest Brew calendar, and the year before that, I'd had the Beer Hawk one. But so this year, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to buy an advent calendar. I have got enough beers in that I can just select 24 random beers, and I've got I saved one of the sturdier 24 slot boxes.
Yeah.
I've wrapped it in lovely Christmas paper, and I've
It looks
stuck them
good.
in
You need
there.
to link it.
Yeah,
Link a
I've
photo
put the
to
picture
it.
in. I've put them randomly in, and then my husband every morning is just going in and grabbing me one out. And that's working out quite well because it's all beers that I've not had before, but they're all quite more exciting than the ones I'm necessarily getting out of the Brewdog one. I got a Burley Oak Pina Colada Dream this morning.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I don't think
Yeah,
I
I'm
saw your
excited for
update this
that.
morning for it.
So that's going to be my
Ooh,
beer
you have
for
to say how
later.
it tastes. That's
Yeah.
going to be good, isn't it?
And I've had, yesterday I had Pilot's Barrel Aged Macchiato Stout.
Yes, I saw that one. I've got the normal
good
macchiato.
I mean, that one's
I've been
great.
holding off. Well, I've been holding off on it because, I like
good.
my beer comparison. So I've got a few macchiatos.
Yeah.
So it's just the case of I'm trying to find a time when I want to drink X amount of macchiato.
Yeah.
Mostly stouts. Well, pretty much all stouts.
That one's good.
So I've just not had a chance yet, but I hear it's amazing.
Yeah. And I had massive piranhas from Neon Raptor the other day, which was, I think that's in my beers of the year beer actually list, because that is delicious.
Yeah, shout out to Helen because she sent me that one.
Oh, yeah.
We've mentioned Helen before. Shout out to Helen. She
Hi,
sent me
Helen.
that across. Hi, Helen. She sent that across to me. That she's my beer wife. She sent me that across for, and just out of nowhere, out of the blue, just to make me smile. Said it's happy early birthday, and she sent me that, and she sent me a Wylam, and I had that on. I think I had it on my birthday.
Yeah,
which was this past weekend, and it was thick with 3 C's. It was great. Like it had it was a ghost. It had the saltiness to it, which I think you have a lot of gozes where you don't get the salty in the same way.
Yeah.
This one was so well executed. Definitely, I think it's up there for a lot of people for beer of the year.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And that's going to be one of our episodes coming up, our review of beers from this year. We've had quite
again
a few,
breaking news.
Breaking news.
Spoiler alert or breaking news.
Keep listening because we're going to do a review of the year in beer.
Yes, our favorite, our least favorite, and all that jazz. But yeah, I didn't do a beer advent calendar this year. Like I said, I was supposed to be in the US, so I thought it was a bit pointless because I was supposed to go on the 16th, and I was kind of like, well, it's not really a point. But I had wanted to make one for my husband and have him make one for me. But then I also realized, like you, I've bought a lot of beer this year. So I was thinking of doing the same thing as you, which was just, not as nice as yours, where like you've taken the time to decorate it. I was just going to take a box and like wrap some up in newspaper and just be like, here to pick me one. I don't care. But I didn't do that because the fact that I've had such busy weeks at work that I was like, at the end of the day, sometimes I'm like, I just can't be bothered to drink. So I'm actually kind of glad I didn't do it this year. But I've seen some ones that other people have posted. I'm getting proper advent calendar envy.
You're getting FOMO.
Yeah, I am getting FOMO. So a Hoppy Place, which is it's my most local bottle shop. It's about maybe 20-minute drive from me. They've done one, and I think at the time people going, oh, it's around 100, a bit over 100. I think people going, oh, it's around that price point. Maybe it was slightly under, maybe slightly over, but people going, oh, that's a bit pricey. I've seen exactly what's come out of there. It's absolute banger after banger. There's so far, we're how many days in? 5 days in? There's been no fridge fillers in that. And he's also said there's going to be a good high percentage, a fair amount that are like American ones as well. No fillers in that at all. It's all just stunner after stunner of a beer. Stuff I buy for myself.
So I think this is the thing with beer advent calendars. You are going to pay for what you get. So my husband bought me the Beer Hawk one. It was okay. There were some beers in there that I'd had before because it's Beer Hawk, and I'd bought a lot of beers from Beer Hawk in the past. And there were some that I was not very keen on. Like I wasn't particularly impressed with it. But if you're starting, like we were talking about with beer subscriptions, if you're starting at the beginning of your craft beer journey, they're good to get you a nice chunk of different beers. the next year I bought the Honest Brew Ultimate
Oh,
beer
right.
advent
Okay.
calendar, and that was £130.
Yeah.
Every single one of those beers was new to me. There was, European beers, American beers, collaborations. Like, there was amazing beers in there. So you paid for what you got. Like, so
Yeah.
I think if you want a really decent craft beer calendar, and
It
I
depends on what you
personally,
want,
it
isn't
depends on
it?
what you want. If you just
Completely.
want like some nice stand, like if you like some, and some, not all of them, not all of the cheaper air quotes ones are going to have your fridge fillers in. They will have a mixture of things, but you've got to be prepared that if you only want to spend 40-50 quid on one, then you're going to get some more standard beers in it. But if you want something up there that's proper top notch, you've got to edge towards £100 or more to get the
Yeah.
really good beers.
Yeah.
And that if you're spending that sort of money, you're going to get more of the imperial stouts and whatnot, and the higher ABVs and the sours, because those beers are just more expensive. So,
Exactly. Overall, so I've
yeah,
seen, I've got a friend that's got an Honest Brew one. I've seen what's come out of that. It's really good stuff. Like, it's
yeah,
not bad. It was around, I think, £60.
yeah,
And it's not bad. It's not. It might not be something that you'd go and pick it out, but then I actually kind of like that
yeah,
charm of the I wouldn't go and pick it out. And I think a lot of them, they have. I think the first few were 330 mils as opposed to 440, and a 440 had just come out the other day.
yeah,
That's quite nice in its own way, because sometimes if it's a weeknight, you just want to have a 330
yeah,
mil and you go, cool, that's my beer, that's done. I wouldn't say it's going to compete with something like Omnipolar Bianca, but that at that price point, that's not what you were going for. You were
yeah,
just getting for trying something new, and it absolutely had stuff that you probably wouldn't have gone out and bought for yourself. So that's great. I think between that 60-80 price point, you're going to get decent things, maybe some fridge fillers, but stuff that you've not tried before that's decent, but it's not going to be impies, dippers, tippers, like that level of stuff. When you go to the 100 and more, that's when you're going to start getting more adventurous and more global with what you're getting. I think I
absolutely.
had friends message me that they're craft people, but they're not, they like craft beer, but I wouldn't say that they were the same as, like, the group of people that we socialize with, where 6 quid a beer is normal.
Yeah,
And they messaged me going, Siren Advent Calendar, 90 pounds. And they said that breaks down to like £3.50 a can. Like, that's so expensive. And I was like,
that's cheap.
I was like,
That's supermarket beer prices.
Yeah, I was like, you don't understand. Like, that's not expensive at all. Like,
No.
that's a standard price for like a Siren core range beer,
Yeah,
and a lot of the direct to brewery core range beers. But when you get into like the Tickle Monster from Siren, which I had the other day, that was over £5 a can.
yeah,
But that's because you're getting, the cedar wood, I think it was some type of wood that was in it. You're getting the higher quality ingredients that are going into it. Talus, that was more expensive because you're getting the Talus hop. You get imported hops, your price is going to go up. You're getting imported beer, it's going to go up. So it was just really, and I did say to them, it's really funny because it just puts it into perspective to me of, those of us buying advent calendars thinking, oh, 100 sounds like a lot, or 100 plus sounds like a lot. But when you break it down per can,
yeah, exactly.
it's not that much. And I think it's just because it's all in one go.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we'd easily spend individually
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
each.
But we've talked about this before, and I will bang on about it on and on. The problem with beer is it has been marketed as the cheap drink.
Yeah.
If you want these beers that have got interesting ingredients, a higher ABV, that's more ingredients, souring techniques, barrel aging techniques, all of this is time and money. People will go out and spend hundreds of pounds on a bottle of wine. Why are we not investing the same money in beer that is being produced? Like, this isn't your Bud Light that's being whacked out in a week.
But I think they look at it and they go, here's a whole bottle for X amount.
Yeah.
And then they go, but compared to a can. And it's like, yeah, but how many of those cans make up that one?
Make up that bottle.
You know what I mean? Yep. It's just the visuals behind it, I think. And I think it seems, for some people that are used to paying lower prices per beer, that sounds like a lot. And what I tried to explain, I did say, like, some of my friends live in Bristol, and I said, well, you're lucky you have Arbor, which is, if you were to break Arbor down, yes, you get a full pint can, so that's brilliant, but you are still paying 3 and a bit for it. Yes, you're getting a bit more. But if you were to make an advent calendar of the same beers, the same quantity, it's going to cost you roughly the same, even if it's Arbor as the Siren calendar is. I just said, you know, it's all about the ingredients that go into it and the process used to make it. And it's just funny because when you start off on your craft journey, you go, I would never pay £6 for a beer. And then the more you start doing it, the more you're like, I can't imagine not paying between £5 and £6 for a beer. So when you break it up into like how many you're getting for, 25 days in an advent calendar and you do the maths, I mean, it's really not as excessive as it sounds when you look at it sort of from the front, I think.
Yeah. And I'm going to be an advocate always for paying for the quality and the ingredients that you get. And the more, like, we just need to educate people that beer doesn't necessarily need to be the cheap drink. It can be, but if you want something really special, you got to pay for it. Same as you have with wine or any other alcohol, spirits. You know, people pay ridiculous prices for however many year aged whiskies. Why is beer any different from that? It shouldn't be. Educate
Completely
the masses.
Agree.
Pay for what you're expecting to get. Off of my soapbox. Thank you.
Preach. But yeah, with that note, has there been any advent calendar that's caught your eye that you said next year that's going to be the one I do, or are you quite happy to keep making your own now that you've
I quite like making mine. So I would always recommend to someone any of the Honest Brew ones. Like what I've seen from the Honest Brew ones, they're coming out really well. I'd also recommend going to your local bottle shop and asking them to do you one. Like often a lot of these bottle shops do, like, give them a budget and they will put you together a mixed case for your advent calendar. I quite like now making my own because I know I can put in the percentage of local beers, stouts and sours that makes me happy because that's what I prefer as a style, whereas you're risking, if you're buying it for somebody else, there could be a lot of light beers in there, dippers, tippers that are not my personal preferences. So I can then pick a massive selection, stick them in a box, and I know that I'm getting beers that I really want to try. And with my brain, I can't remember which ones I put in there. So it's still a surprise. Gordon said to me, he's like, you know what's in there, you select it all. And I was like, no, I just got 24 together and stuck them in there. I can't remember what I put in there. I was like, have you seen my beer fridge? You know how much is in there.
You just went this one, it all do. Yeah, but I think to touch on that point though, if you're going to go to the bottle shop, Brew, you just tell them, here's my budget and here's the type of beer that I enjoy, and you kind of specify to them. You don't say like, make me an advent calendar. You say, can you just do me a mystery box of X amount, and then just let them sort of crack on. But you can specify like what styles you want. If you want something more local, if they have that available, specify to them, let them do it for you. I think for me next year, if I do an advent calendar, I will either make one myself because I quite liked the idea for the last few years and never had the initiative to follow through and just do it. Or I might just buy Dave's because it sounds like a hoppy place. From what I've seen so far, if it carries on the way it started, you've got my, that's money well spent.
Yeah.
You've got but then it depends on how many beer I still have stocked up by this time next year, because it will probably be homemade advent calendar. Right. With that, I think we're done. I want to go try to make these ginger beer cocktails.
That'd be exciting. I'm going to go do that. Right. So, if they want to tell you what Christmas beers they've had, where can our lovely listeners find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism. And if they want to join your beer tent, where do they find you?
So, if you want to talk to me personally about beers, you can find me at A Woman's Brew on Instagram, Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. If you want to come find out more about beer styles, you can come to Love Beer Learning. We are Love Beer Learning on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can email me, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com, or you can come to the website, lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and there will be links there to join my Build Your Beer Vocabulary course. You can join my Beer Tent Society to learn more about Imperial Stouts. There's a link for that there on the Join Us page. And also, I'm selling virtual beer tasting vouchers. If you want to learn some beer tasting techniques, you can buy them for yourself and for your friends. And in the comfort of your own home, I will come and give you beer knowledge while you drink your favourite beers and I tell you all about them. So
it's Christmas. It probably will make a really good Christmas present for somebody. Hint.
Come and have a look. You can
Christmas
come and have a
episode
look at my links. Got some good beery gifts for you, your friends, your family, people in the office, whoever you are buying gifts for. Come find us. Right, on that
and then
note,
also on the TikToks.
And I'm on the TikToks as well. I need to update the bio on there because I didn't actually set up the TikToks for it. I was just doing that to get the videos off of it, but I've actually got some followers.
Well, that's
on
it.
There.
You've got to appropriately, now that I've said how amazing it is, you've got to properly do the TikToks. Right. Let's go finish numbing our fairy tale of Brew
lovely. Cheers. Festive joy to everybody. Yes.